In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the upcoming pattern, diving into the past temperatures over the last 7 days and for the entire month of September so far, the past snowfall, the past rainfall, diving into some upcoming storms. We do have some interesting ones crossing the nation and a very concerning tropical cyclone that could be taking place across the Caribbean, Gulf, and then impacting potentially the Gulf Coast or East Coast. We're going to be diving into that one today. Could be quite major. We also have some signs of colder air on the way down the road, so we're going to be discussing that as well today. Now, before we dive into things, be sure to check out Prestige Weather, where we're going to be doing a 99-cent for your first month deal once more. It's only $5 typically, but we're doing only $1 for your first month. That's an automatic discount, so you don't even need to put a code in. We're doing a September photo contest in there where the winner receives $50, so be sure to check that out, as well as our second winter forecast, which is now officially available within Prestige Weather today. So be sure to check out all of that on your top right corner of your screen below this video and get signed up today at that killer price. Let's go ahead and dive into things, and here's how the past 7 days as of today on September 19th have looked. We've had a strong negative PNA out here for the west, so below normal temperatures out west. This oftentimes forces warmer air across the central states, which we do see here. Usually warmer air across the east, which we do see on the kind of northern half here. However, we have had some anomalously cold temperatures here across the deeper south and southeast here that have really hung on. Also for the mid-Atlantic, we're very close to normal too. So a lot of these areas in here are very close to typical, if not below normal, through the past 7 days. Here's the entire month of September so far. And as you can see, this should be changing because of the past 7 days. This one does not come up to the exact date that we're on. So this is only through the 17th. We do have above normal temperatures out west, so overall we have had a positive PNA, although that is dwindling. You can see some above normal temperatures throughout the north central states as well, which has happened more recently. And then still just how cold the beginning portion of September was. We do see below normal temperatures overall on the month of September for a lot of the south central, Midwest, Ohio Valley, deep south, southeast, mid-Atlantic, and even into portions of the northeast here. Although day after day after day, this is increasing. So a lot of these areas probably will not end the month in the blue. But some of our coldest areas like the south central and the mid-Atlantic may indeed end up cooler than normal on the month. For the snowfall that we've seen so far, this is actually the 20th of August through today, or to yesterday on September 18th. Again, some of these aren't exactly up to date. We do see that the Cascades, Sierra Nevada, and Rockies have had some snowfall, with the heart of it being nearby Yellowstone in either Montana or Wyoming there, where we've already had about a foot of snowfall or more for some of those highest elevations. As we take a look at the total precipitation anomalies through the past 14 days, you could see an above average amount located for a lot of your northwest here, actually excluding the Pacific Northwest in Washington and Oregon, but for areas of eastern Oregon, northern Nevada through Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas here, we do have an above average amount. Also for the deeper south here, throughout the southeast and up the Mississippi River area here, we have had an above average amount, kind of helped out by that hurricane that we had that brought a lot of precipitation for these areas. And same things for the Carolinas into a little bit of Virginia here. We did have some above average amounts here as well due to your tropical cyclone. Never really became a depression or storm, but it was a tropical system, and that did bring a heavy amount of rainfall, especially for North Carolina. Let's go ahead and dive into the upcoming pattern and take a look here at what the afternoon looks like for tomorrow on September 20th. What we see here is a jet stream that's pretty split across the west. We have kind of a southern and northern jet here. This is going to bring more neutral temperatures around for these areas. A clear ridging signal across the central states, so warmer temperatures to prevail here across the central. A little bit more neutral here throughout the east. We do have some showers around for the Great Lakes or maybe along the east coast, even for some of the south central states as well, into the southwest, but really a quieter day here tomorrow on Friday. For Saturday here on September 21st, what we end up seeing here is a weaker low over Colorado, and this is bringing some heavier rainfall to the Four Corner states and even extending into some of the plains here. A little bit of a weaker low up here in the upper Midwest as well, kind of aiding in all of this. And then the east, we continue to see some showers passing by throughout Canada and the mid-Atlantic and the southeast there. For Sunday here on September 22nd, what we're seeing here is showers, thunderstorms, even snowfall a little bit there for Colorado throughout these areas of the plains, Midwest, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley. Again, a passing shower or two cannot be ruled out for the east, although things do look quieter. Monday here on September 23rd, how the jet stream is kind of evolving as we see more of a trough across the central states than a ridge here in the east. So warming a little bit here for the southwest, and some cold air is able to pour its way into the Great Lake or the Rockies and even the northern plains and Midwest area. We do see that the east is warming, so expect a little bit warmer to start the week out next week. We do have heavy precipitation happening for some areas of the Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, and even down through the south central states. We are dealing with some showers that could be heavier. Even a thunderstorm wouldn't shock me for some of those areas. Tuesday here on September 24th, this ridge is building out west, and so is this trough across the central states, now kind of inverted towards the Four Corner states, where we do see snowfall perhaps for Colorado and New Mexico. Again, positive PNA trending back in for the west. We saw a lot of this in early September. This is what's flipping the pattern. These areas that were very warm are now seeing some of the coolest temperatures across the central states. A little warmer in the east, I would say. We do have some showers around as well to the north of the peak of that ridge. As we keep going towards Wednesday here, now we're getting interesting. What we're seeing here is a huge ridge out west, still a little bit inverted, but it's still a little bit of a trough here in the east, so some cooler temperatures on the way for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast here, as well as your Four Corner states and plains. A lot warmer out west and drier. We do see some snowfall and rain showers prevailing from the Four Corner states down through the south central states. And we do see a whole lot of rainfall for the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, and areas in eastern Canada as well. Again, by Wednesday on the 25th. Here's Thursday the 26th. We continue to see this low pressure system over the east prevailing, bringing rainfall to the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast and eastern Canada as well. Very quiet out west. We do have a massive ridge, which you can't even see all of it on screen, across the west, and a big time trough over the east. So again, cooling by the mid to late point of next week. Friday on September 27th, we see this ridge is a little bit inverted here, and we get continued cooler air here for a lot of the Midwest and in through the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast here. That's your tropical concern. This European model is keeping it further west towards the western Gulf of Mexico. The GFS model does take this one a lot further eastward, which would be more concerning. We will dive more into that later on. Continued rainfall for the Great Lakes, Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, and Eastern Canada will prevail, though, through the weekend. Here's Saturday, where it's continuing through the weekend. We do see that this tropical cyclone of sorts is bringing rainfall not only for the immediate areas near that low, but also near the eastern Gulf of Mexico coast, where there is some showers and thunderstorms kind of spinning off of that system. We do see that this jet stream comes with a lot of precipitation, so we're seeing showers and thunderstorms along this area as well. And we continue to see a very weak low over the Great Lakes, bringing rainfall. Your jet stream still favoring a trough here in the east. Finally, here's Sunday, and it's a lot of the same. Again, we have that tropical cyclone, precipitation from the eastern Gulf Coast all the way up the east coast here, and Great Lakes still dealing with some showers, but that is dying down. As we take a look at the total precipitation, the south central through the Ohio Valley, Midwest, Great Lakes, into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, we are seeing an above average amount of precipitation. Also the Gulf of Mexico seeing a highly above average amount. And then from the east coast all the way down, I'd say starting at Maine all the way down through the panhandle of Florida there, we are seeing an above average amount as well. So let's look at these anomalies, and what we see is really all of these areas here dealing with an above average amount of precipitation. So for areas across the plains and Four Corner states, again, Midwest, Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast, even portions of the Southeast, they could be in good hands. The western Gulf Coast, kind of drier, unfortunately, and also the Northwest into the North Central states dealing with a drier spell here as well. Now, the total snowfall here, we do get a few for some of the more northern Rockies, also the Sierra Nevada. The Cascades kind of don't cash in this upcoming 10-day period. However, the areas near Colorado, and specifically in Colorado, we do expect perhaps a foot or two of snowfall over the next 10 days. Here's a zoomed in look, and the pinks again is going to be anything above 12 inches, so we could be pushing more towards 20 plus in some of these highest elevations. Definitely a snowy week for them. The GFS model, let's take a look here at the temperature anomalies. We stay warmer, like I said. Here's the 22nd, 23rd. Look at that cold air pouring in the west warming up again. That is a big driving factor. 24th. It's not the most widespread cool down, but it is there. 25th. Definitely cooler in the east than it has been. Here's Thursday the 26th, 27th, 28th, and look at this. So this was the one we were talking about yesterday. That's more of a cold front, just bringing some cooler temperatures, nothing to write home about. But here comes that major Arctic blast coming from the Arctic Circle, and this one could dive towards the central states or east states. This model run shows it in the central states, and look at that. By October 1st, we are seeing far below average temperatures. We're talking 15 to 20 degrees below normal, perhaps, for some of those blues within the greens. So the plains could be cooling significantly, and it is all thanks to this very strong positive PNA that we're seeing out west. Still, though, the east is very cool, not as cold as these areas in the central states, but we're still seeing some sporadic 10 to 15 degrees below normal, which is definitely a significant departure from what's typical. And look at this, all the way through about the 5th of October, we see this cooler pattern holding on for most folks, so it could be a little bit of an extended pattern that we need to watch for. As we take a look here at the extended range temperature anomalies, this is the 20th through the 25th. But look at the 25th through the 30th. We flip all the way around, seeing warmer out west. Again, positive PNA look with cooler diving into the central and eastern states. This is kind of what we've been expecting. As we look at the 30th through the 5th of October, it's a lot of the same. Here's the 5th through the 10th, pretty cool. 10th through the 15th, same story. 15th through the 20th, a lot more cool. 20th through the 25th, really looking the same. And then the 25th through the 30th of October is finally when we're warming in the east. And no surprise, we see cooler out west. That's likely the driving factor that this model is seeing, bringing the warmer temperatures. So again, the very opposite there. That's why the west drives our weather patterns here in the United States. And then it gets a little averaged out looking here towards the end. Cooler across the board, likely won't happen that way. Here's the next 30 days overall. A bit warmer here for areas out west, and a bit cooler here for areas across the east. As we take a look at the 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, we do have two disturbances out here in the middle of the Atlantic. One here has a 10% chance of development over the next 48 hours and a 20% chance over the next 7 days. Nothing really too concerning yet, but does have a chance. And then this remnants of GUIDENCE system that is headed almost directly northward has a 30% chance both in the next 48 hours and the next 7 days. So some chance of development, not very high. We do see this system here, though, the Southern Caribbean into the Gulf. I told you guys, watch for this to increase. And sure enough, 0% chance over the next 48 hours, as this is a long-term tropical system. We don't expect this too soon yet. But over the next 7 days, we have upgraded to a 40% chance of development. We could see this continue to rise as that pending tropical system looks to potentially develop in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's take a look at some of these potential tracks here on the spaghetti model guidance. Here's that European model family. And like I said, they kind of want to push it towards the west there. There is a few outliers that either hit like the central Gulf Coast or perhaps Florida here in the Panhandle. We even have one or two headed off the East Coast. But definitely the majority here take this towards Mexico. Very, very different than what we see here on the GFS ensemble model, which has almost none heading towards that western Gulf of Mexico area. So the GFS says forget about that. We expect a major tropical system to potentially impact Florida and then maybe even head off the East Coast, re-impacting the eastern seaboard. This would be the worst case scenario here. And a lot of these oranges, reds, pinks would be a hurricane, maybe even a major hurricane if this model was correct. So a lot of members showing this on the GFS, the European very much to the opposite. We're going to need to continue to track this because there's definitely some differing opinions here. But I'm sure you guys can pick up on the fact that the potential is very high, and that is concerning. We're going to watch it closely. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe. We do upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.